We obsess over every life choice. We research, we plan, and we agonize, trying to dodge the future pain of regret. Often we end up frozen in place, watching the options multiply. We operate on a quiet assumption. If we just calculate our decisions correctly, we can engineer a life with zero friction and zero mistakes. Over 2,000 years ago, a young Athenian man approached the philosopher Socrates to ask for some practical life advice. The young man wanted to know if he should get married. Socrates didn't give him a pros and cons list. He gave him a blunt guarantee. Whichever you do, you will repent it. This statement wasn't a cynical joke about his own marriage. He was exposing a structural law of human existence. Human life operates on finite time. The moment you commit to a path, to one career, to one city, to one partner, you instantly eliminate every other possible version of your life. Because we cannot have everything, every major decision forces a compromise. Regret is the mathematical certainty of choosing one good thing over another. The 19th century philosopher Soren Kierkegaard called this the dizziness of freedom. It is the paralyzing psychological vertigo we feel when we realize we actually have the power to choose, and the heavy burden of living with the consequences. This diagram illustrates double regret. We feel the actual, painful flaws of the path we chose, while simultaneously mourning the imagined, flawless fantasy of the path we walked away from. Socrates argued that no one does wrong willingly. When we stand at that intersection, we always select the option we calculate to be best for us at the exact moment of choice. We judge ourselves harshly in hindsight, but a bad decision is often a cognitive error based on severely limited data. You couldn't see the hazards ahead because they were obscured by your current horizon. Since we only ever have partial information, demanding a flawless outcome is intellectually impossible. Expecting perfection from incomplete data guarantees you will feel like a failure. Socrates wanted people to reach a state called aporia. This is a condition of profound intellectual puzzlement. It is the disorienting moment when all your previous assumptions are destroyed and you realize how little you actually know. This leaves us in a difficult position. If we lack a perfect view of the future and every choice creates friction, why bother choosing at all? The usual answer is achieving wealth, status, or the perfect relationship can insulate us from regret entirely. Socrates rejected that idea. He argued that external goods are entirely subject to the random, uncontrollable vicissitudes of life. The unpredictable forces of fortune, illness, and time wear everything down. Physical structures decay, markets crash, reputations fade. Relying on external metrics to validate your life choices will eventually betray you. The solution to regret must be found somewhere else. Socrates treats regret as an essential feedback loop. This feeling signals that the mind is encountering its own boundaries and limitations. This friction provides the raw data for soul building and internal strengthening through ruthless self-correction. Socrates claimed to be guided by a daimonion, a personal inner voice or divine sign. But this voice never told him what to do. It only ever spoke up to steer him away from actions that were harmful or shameful. A successful life is a process of navigating away from the worst errors as they are identified. Facing the death penalty, Socrates gave his final defense. The unexamined life is not worth living. The goal of life is the examination itself. It is the willingness to look at your choices, acknowledge your ignorance, and adjust your course. Once we accept that every choice carries a cost, the paralyzing illusion of perfection vanishes. We stop trying to control the uncontrollable and instead find happiness in the internal integrity of a resilient soul.